Okay, so we did the High German consonant shift. In order to do that, comparative semantics, comparing English and German, the meaning of words. And again, what can we glean about this in terms of cultural changes? Okay, look at that list here. Okay, we now see that town and Zaun, German, is the same word. And Zaun in German means fence. In English, town is clear. City, village, something like this. Okay, an agglomeration. And the question is, what is the original meaning here? Okay, and you can easily see that a fence was the original meaning. Okay, a fence which encircled a village or anything like that, and you went into the fence. And then this fence, by way of metonymy, if you like, was then taken to mean the whole of the agglomeration. So town and Zaun, yes, the same word, with the German being probably more original. And you will see this. Mostly, German is very conservative as far as the meaning of words are concerned, but in terms of phonology, of course, it changed, okay, because of the consonant shift. I repeat myself. The next one, interesting, yeah? Tail, English, Zahl in German. Same word, okay. But in German it means number. In English it means a kind of story. Well, where is the connection here? Okay, we should ask ourselves. And now we delve right into Germanic culture. Okay, the theory is that telling stories was done at the campfire, if you like, in Beowulf or something like this, according to a certain order. Okay, you tell the first story, you tell the next story, you tell the next story, and so on. Everybody got a number. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and so on. Okay. Another question, what's the next number? Number 4, probably something like this. And then, this sort of number became the tale itself, the story. Again, German more conservative. And you have it still in German, erzählen, okay, zählen and erzählen. Zählen in German means to count. And erzählen means to tell a story. Oh, yes. Yeah. So there is a correspondence here, because in English, tell, okay, the same thing. Okay, which meant originally tell, okay, to count. And then this counting numbers became telling stories. You see, there is the correspondence. And you see now why it may be worthwhile to have a look at the language next in kin, German, because then you see how meanings changed. Yeah? You have to find a common meaning here, with both meanings go back to. Okay, tell, count, originally, and then tell, count stories, and then tell stories, okay. The next one, token, and there you see direct correspondence, sound shift, German t becomes z, okay, and k becomes ch, token, Zeichen, okay, Zeichen, a sign. Okay, which is very close to the meaning it still has in English, but I just included it because you see the correspondence so nicely. But if you don't know about the second consonant shift, it probably would pass you by, okay, that it's the same word, token and Zeichen. Okay. Next one is interesting, meat, okay, meat in German Maß. This sort of symbol is the voiceless alveolar fricatives. Okay, all right. Terrible German grapheme. Which means Maß in German measure. Measure, the measure you get. Food. Okay, food in general. In English now, meat is sort of, okay, meat, you know that, animal. Okay. Still, German, more original. Okay. Because meat meant food originally, generally speaking, feet. You still have it, food, sorry. Foot is something else, food. You can eat food, you shouldn't eat foot. Okay, here we go. Meat. In Chaucer still, at mete wel I taucht was she with alle, he says of the nun. Okay? At food, at the dinner table, she was well taught. In Chaucer. It still means food in general. Okay, later on it was narrowed in its meaning, a narrowing, okay, to have the modern meaning. So German still the original. Why did this happen? Well, those things always happen if two words are in competition. Okay, the word food comes in one way or the other, then is applied to the general term, and then the original term is narrowed, and you have this on and on. This is one of the great dynamics responsible for for semantic change, that two words are in competition. Okay. Staff, which means die in general. Staff, Stefan in English. Starve, die in general. Die. Today it means die of hunger. Okay, and this was because die came in through the Scandinavian, die as a general term, and then starve was narrowed to die of hunger. Okay, this is, generally speaking, this is how historical semantics work. I always have, when it happens that two words have the same meaning, one is very prone to change. Okay, all right, let's go on. Oh, that's an interesting one. Ja, top. Okay, in German, Zopf, and look at that. Yeah, direct correspondence. T, z, p, f, Zopf, but in German it's a plate. Okay, it's what you have on top of your head. Okay, Zopf. Okay, the Swabian knot. I found this. I mean, Swabian knot. German people, Germanic people used to have that. This is a mummy, which they found in some northern German bog. Okay, and Swabian knot. Yeah, this is the top. Zopf, and then later on in German, plate. Yeah. Here, the English meaning is certainly more original. Okay, but you see the correspondence. Top, Zopf. Okay. Here, others. Yeah, Pope, which ultimately goes back to something like Italian. Yeah, papa, papa, papa. Okay, papa, which means father. Okay, papa. Well, by way of the more familiar term. Pape, pauper, some of this. In German, you have Pfaffe, which is a derogatory term for a priest. Okay? A derogatory term for a priest. Pfaffe. Okay? But the same word. Pope. Pfaffe. Pape. Pfaffe. Very good example for the consonant shift. Twice. Okay. Oh, next one. Street. Okay. Straße. Now let's think for a moment. It's certainly a Latin word. It's not Germanic. Strata. 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 Okay. But it has the consonant shift. Now, generally speaking, when words come in from Latin into German, they don't have the consonant shift. Only when they come into German at the time before the consonant shift happened, then it will be applied. And this is exactly the case. So strata, street, must have come into German before the Anglo-Saxons left Germany. And they brought it with them. And this explains why it must have been borrowed before 600, 500, before the consonant shift came in German. Otherwise we wouldn't have it. You see? Straße, we have it. Okay, t turning into s. We have it. So it's a very old loan word. A very old loan word, which must have, come into German and English, of course, yes. At the limes, something like this, cultural exchange between the Romans and the Germans at the border of the empire. Because the Germans did not build, were good builders of roads and stuff. I mean, they took this over from the Romans. Okay. Yes, you have to see that sometimes it's you can see the way that words were changed, okay, phonologically, you can tell when they were borrowed. Mostly you can. Okay, loads and loads of examples. In English, forest must have been borrowed 1,000 years ago, 800, because when the French still had the S in it. They don't have forêt, doesn't have an S in it anymore. Yeah, they used to, something like 800-900 years ago. So you know when the word came in. Okay, I repeat myself. Yeah, sometimes that's all you have to know. Sometimes the phonological shape of a word tells you when it was borrowed. Did it do this or that sound shift, or didn't it? Okay, and it was borrowed only very recently. It didn't do anything, mostly. Okay. The one we have here, tide and Zeit. Yeah, talked about this. Tide in English, yeah, more what you have at sea, low and high tide. In German, time in general. Okay, probably difficult to say which meaning is more original. Okay, but they are close. Okay, right. This one here, and then we stop for the time being. That's an interesting example. A bigger one. Let's have a look at that. And we don't need German, well, only in passing here. Well, don't need, doesn't exist in German, this thing. But yeah, an Eke-Name, this is Middle English, an Eke-Name. And here the question is, what does Eke mean? And there you see it in German, consonant shift, okay, Eke, ich, auch. And it means also, yeah, as well, too. An as well name, a to name, okay? It's a name you have on top of your given name. An Eke-Name, an also name. This is what happened. And then something very strange happened, which we call a gluttination. Which means you look at the indefinite article, en Eke, en Eke. And if you misinterpret, okay, you will not read en Eke or listen or perceive en Eke, but a neke. Okay, you take the n as belonging to the stem of Eke, not to the indefinite article. And then an Eke-Name becomes a Neke-Name. And we call this agglutination because something is glued, yeah, to the stem of the next word. And this became nickname. Yeah? A nickname. Okay? A nickname is a name which you also have. Okay? A nickname. An Eke-Name. One more. I like this here. In English, adder. In German, Natter. Woof. Well, it's the same word. Yeah, this sort of animal here. A black adder, you know this, adder, okay? This is the opposite of agglutination, degluttination, okay? Degluttination, you take, the original is, as in German, a nadder, okay? Which became natter in German by way of the second consonant shift, okay? A nadder, and then they understood an adder, and took the n away from the stem of the word, and we call this degluttination. Isn't that fascinating? Okay, what historical phonology can excavate. Okay, and you can only see, you only come to terms or realize that there is a difference if you compare the German and the English. Yeah, adder, nadder. What about the n? Well, the Germans have it. Okay, Germans in German you don't deglutinate or deglutinate a lot for other reasons. Okay, but yeah. Nadder became an adder. Okay, let's stop here and go on from here. Okay.